welcome to this new T.RE.nd interview. Today with me is Maria Giovanna Gaglione, Sales Manager from Trina Solar Italy. Hi Maria Giovanna, how are you doing today?
Hi Nicola, I'm very fine. Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here and to talk with you about the Italian market development.
Absolutely, and today we're going to talk about the C&I rooftop segment. And I want to start with the first topic. So we know there's a high premium on land projects, right, land development, and especially we both are familiar, so we know the negative sentiment that's attached towards it, right? So the question is naturally is the development of rooftop projects a natural consequence, given the fact that the sentiment over land projects is not so good, and where do you think the market is going in this regard?
Thanks, Nicola, for this question. It's quite complex, honestly, to answer, but I will try to do my best. As far as I know, working in this field for more or less 10 years, I don't see such big opportunities for large rooftop installations, not so easy to find at the moment. And the problem is often linked to the technical characteristics and the lack of large surfaces to be able to carry out attractive projects for banks and funds. And more in general, we cannot expect a significant growth in Italy in the utility segment, but for both projects. So I mean rooftop projects and landscape projects. So just a little consideration, think of the data published by T.RE.nd. We won't reach 700 megawatts of new installation capacity in 2021, so not so much, and of which the utility share is close to zero. But I don't want to be so pessimistic. I want to be more positive, but changing a little the perspective and focusing the attention on C&I segment, the story is quite different. So it's clear that every entrepreneur now in Italy is seeing that the cost associated with the consumption of electricity grows year after year, and of course has a heavy impact on the business. So if you analyze the cost of an energy bill today compared to 1 year ago, well, it has increased by 30%. So assessing more convenience for energy production is now really a mandatory choice. And another thing that I would like to underline is that for a middle-sized project in Italy, the return on investment is quite fast, within 4 years. And we have some help in doing this kind of project. For example, we can exploit the scambio sul posto mechanism, and also, of course, producing energy. We avoid to purchase energy, and it's the big advantage that we have now. And also, we can exploit the fiscal deductibility of 11% of the cost of the plan in 10 years. So, concluding, this reasoning leads us to think that the C&I segment will have more and more strategic value in Italy, and its growth is certain in the coming years, from a point of view at least.
Absolutely, and let's hope those bills can really go down, because we're all seeing that. And one topic also regards the financing side, because if you take a look at where the cash, where the capital is going, you see less and less for C&I rooftop projects. Definitely the lion's share is taken by the ground-based project. So what do you think can be done here to bridge a bit the gap and maybe change a bit how the cash and the capital is being allocated here?
Nice questions. Not easy to answer again, but let's try to make some thoughts. So it's clear, yes, I agree. There is less possibility of financing for roof systems than for ground systems. But again, we don't have a happy situation for both types of projects, as you know. And let's just talk about the feed-in tariff program, for example, that is concluded last October, was meant to help utility scale segments, so both types of projects, and to grow. But at the end, it turned out to be a non-rewarding incentive scheme. So very complicated procedure to access to the actions for plants up to 1 megawatt, for example. And it was necessary also to respect several criteria. And even if you match all the criteria, then you have to commit a bank guarantee calculated on the basis of the value of the project. So bigger the project and bigger the bail, basically. So you can imagine the major part of operators in Italy were not so happy to do that. And even matching again all these criteria, at the end, the process for being selected was very long, up to 1 year. So the result is that only 7 action has been made since 2019, and which have gone virtually deserted for photovoltaics. So it's a strong signal that something is not working. But what we can do, surely an intervention by our legislator is needed to simplify the procedures. And we need for sure to cancel this heavy deposit, at least for the most relevant projects. And also, I would suggest to provide more convenient tariffs for the schemes that can help, to be more close to the market, to the selling price of the energy in the market. And also, coming back to the rooftop topics, it's clear that it's more easy to have the authorization to do such projects. So it's positive. And coming back again to the C&I segment, considering, for example, the middle size, so projects between 1 megawatt to 3 megawatts, especially before the pandemic, we were assisting to a growth of this segment driven by energy service companies that were able to provide PV plants, and so to help companies to realize their PV plants through different types of approaches, like rental operation proposal, for example, or PPA agreements as well. We can say that in Italy, in this segment, there are sales tools that can help to grow, but at the basis we need to have financial support from the banks. And again, here the government has to help the companies to be more engaged in evaluating the fact to build people projects. How can the government help also banks to release more corporate loans, that basically is the financial instrument suitable for these segments? For example, approving something similar to the super bonus that we have here in Italy for the residential segments. And we can clearly see the effect on the demand of the residential plant can be the same for C&I projects as well. Then I want to conclude saying that from the technology side, it's clear that it's convenient. So business plans are fast. We have very skilled APC and developers, so there's no really risk in doing PV projects right now. So at least from this point of side, we can ensure our banks that it's convenient to invest in PV plants.
Absolutely, and that's a very good point, because if I hear correctly, definitely we're at a very mature stage also when it comes to modules. And here's where that I would say it's your bread and butter, right? Your everyday daily business. And what I see is that the industry always says, we need lower cost, higher voltage modules. So the question is, how far are we with regards to this specific technology, and if it can also apply to large C&I rooftop projects? If you can share a bit more about that.
Sure, but of course, being part of Trina and representing the company in this topic, I want to say that we have a very mature technology right now, and we believe it will be the future. And also, we are promoting our Vertex line, 210 millimeters wafer, with our Vertex 670 power peak as the main product for utility projects. But we are also showing with case studies and project references that really it is possible to achieve important reductions in terms of LCOE and DOS. Of course, we need to use these products according to a specific type of projects. So if we come back to roof projects, we don't believe these type of products are the right options. So this is why, as Trina, we have developed other modules suitable for rooftop projects. And so we introduce in our portfolio basically two new modules, and they are called Vertex S and Vertex. Vertex S with 405 watt peak as nominal power, and Vertex 510 watt peak power. And these two products are designed to basically be matched with the needs of this type of rooftop projects. So they are very attractive from the technical and dimensional point of view, because they are very similar in the dimension of the previous model. So I'm talking about the 166 wafer modules that we used to sell before launching this new technology. And also we reach a very great efficiency for both types, around 21.1 and 21.2. And thanks to the FreeCap technology, we are able also to match the electrical aspects and features needed to be in compliance with the major inverters for these projects that are needed. So we are very proud of these two solutions that also they are proposed with a commercial warranty of 15 years on the mechanical defects. And also concluding, they have a very attractive aesthetics because they are produced with black frame with black frames, so they are very also nice to see on the roof.
Yeah, so the technology is there, the solutions are there. If I hear you correct, Maria Giovanna, we just need a bit more incentives from the legislators and also from the financing side for all of it to come nicely together. Anyways, it was great hearing your insights and your thoughts. Maria Giovanna, sales manager from Trina, Italy. Thanks again for joining us for this interview.
Thank you, Nicola. I hope to have the chance to chat with you again and to talk again about the amazing Italian market.